There is a particular kind of tiredness that has nothing to do with sleep. It is the tiredness of the British renter in 2026. You work, you earn, you are careful. And yet, when you look at your accounts at the end of the month, you are standing in almost exactly the same place you started. This is not a personal failing, it is a design feature of the market you are standing in. Economists call it static friction, the invisible force that has to be overcome before anything starts to move at all. And right now, the average couple is running flat out on a treadmill that only ever rolls backward. Rent rises, prices drift upward, wages crawl. You are sprinting, and the horizon never gets closer. But there is a specific number that stops the machine, a number that lets you step off the belt, plant your feet on solid ground, and finally stand still long enough to look around. That number is £20,000. We call it your key fund. And in the next few minutes, we are going to show you, pound by pound, exactly why everything changes the moment you reach it. Let us be honest about the beginning, because nobody else will be. The first £5,000 are the hardest money you will ever save. Not because £5,000 is a large sum, but because it is built entirely on a single word. No. No to the weekend away. No to the new clothes that would have felt so good. No to the expensive dinners in the city with friends who are not saving for anything. Every pound in that first tranche is a small, quiet refusal. And here is the cruel part. It is invisible. Nobody claps for you. The balance barely moves. You feel like you are pouring water into a bucket with no bottom. £5,000 feels less like progress and more like proof that the whole exercise is pointless. It is not pointless. It is physics. Picture living with zero savings as being magnetically pinned to a steel floor. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You try to jump, and something invisible pulls you straight back down. That pull is real. It has a name: high rent and inflation, and the quiet tax of having no buffer. So every surprise cost lands directly on your card at 19% interest. At £5,000, the magnet still owns you. At £10,000, you can feel the pull weakening. And at £20,000, something remarkable happens. You reach escape velocity. The grip lets go. For the first time, the effort you put in actually lifts you, instead of vanishing into the floor. £20,000 is the exact point where the magnet loses its hold on your life. Now, here is where the British system quietly hands you a gift most people never claim: the government's silent contribution. If you and your partner are both first-time buyers, you can each open a Lifetime ISA. Into each one, you can pay up to £4,000 a year, and the government, through HMRC, adds a 25% bonus on top. That is £1,000 of free money per person every single year, paid straight into your key fund. Watch what that does to the maths. Between the two of you, you contribute £16,000 of your own money. The government tops it up by £4,000. And just like that, £16,000 becomes £20,000. You did not save an extra £4,000. You architected it. This is not luck, and it is not a windfall. It is a legal structure sitting in plain sight, and every month you delay opening one is a month of bonus you can never get back. Keep the rules in mind. The home has to be worth up to £450,000, and the account has to be open before you buy. Here is the part the banks would rather you did not fully understand. To a mortgage lender, you are not a person. You are a loan-to-value ratio, an LTV, and there is a cliff edge hidden inside that number. At a 5% deposit, you are a 95% LTV borrower. In the bank's eyes, you are a risk to be managed. You get the higher rates, the stricter conditions, the raised eyebrow. But the moment your deposit hits 10%, £20,000 on a £200,000 home, you cross into 90% LTV territory. And suddenly, you are not a risk. You are a partner to be courted. The rate drops. In 2026, moving from 95% down to 90%, LTV typically shaves around 0.7% off your interest rate. That sounds small. It is not. On a £250,000 loan, 0.7% is roughly £1,700 a year kept in your pocket, purely in interest. Spread across the year, that is close to a £200 a month pay rise, but it is better than a pay rise because a pay rise gets taxed. This one does not. HMRC cannot touch a single penny of it. It is money you conjured simply by crossing a line on a spreadsheet. And this is where the feeling changes. Not the numbers, the feeling. With nothing behind you, living in this market is like breathing through a straw. Every scary headline, every rumor of a downturn, every unexpected bill leaves you gasping. £20,000 is your first real lungful of air. It is financial oxygen. Suddenly, if the market dips, you do not panic. You have resilience. You stop staring at your feet, at next month's rent, at the number that has to be found by the first, and you lift your eyes to the horizon line, the next 10 years, the actual life you are building. The person with no savings survives the month. The person with £20,000 plans the decade. There will be a moment, some quiet morning, when you open your banking app almost out of habit and it lands differently. That figure is not just a balance anymore. It is leverage. It is proof. For years, you were a spectator of the property market, watching from behind the glass, while other people walked through their own front doors. £20,000 moves you to the other side of that glass. You are no longer watching the game. You are a player in it, with real chips on the table. And leverage buys you the one thing that matters most in this country. Options. £20,000 is also a sayonara fund. It is the power to look a landlord who refuses to fix anything in the eye and say, "No thank you, we are leaving." It is the power to walk away from a toxic job that was quietly grinding you down because you are no longer 3 weeks from empty. In the UK, real wealth is rarely about yachts. It is about this, the presence of options and the freedom to say no. So how do you deploy it? Strategically. That £20,000 is a key cut for a specific lock, the 90% LTV band. Do not stop at 5,000 and try to buy in a hurry. And do not necessarily agonize trying to reach 15% if it takes years longer. The biggest single jump on the rate ladder tends to sit right at that 90% step. Aim your key fund squarely at it. Get your agreement in principle in place so you know exactly which band you land in before you fall in love with a home. And once you are on the ladder, remember the game does not end when your fixed deal expires. A simple product transfer or a remortgage as your equity grows can walk you down into even lower LTV bands and lower rates over time. Whether you are buying in the North, the Midlands, or the pricier home counties, the principle holds. The deposit is the lever, and 90% is the sweet spot where it bites hardest. So here is the truth we want you to carry out of this video. A deposit is not simply a down payment, it is a mathematical shield. The first £20,000 is a slog, built on 1,000 small refusals, invisible for months, heavy the whole way. But it is the price of admission. Admission to a life where the bank courts you instead of managing you, where a scary headline is just a headline, where you own your own front door and the bank no longer owns your heartbeat. Start the key fund, say the small nos, and keep going until the magnet lets go. If you learn something, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.